Yeah, hi everyone. So welcome on my YouTube channel. So today we will create a capacity weekly capacity plan for inbound queues. Okay, so now you can see on my screen. So here are showing there are few metrics. So as of now, we have considered here there are five metrics. First is forecasted volume parts, HT, shrinkage, occupancy. Based on the four metrics, we will calculate the net requirement and the headcount requirement. Okay, so let's assume we have considered for 10,000 call for a weekly volume. Okay, and basis on this we have considered 300 HT, and for shrinkage assumption here I have considered 33%, and for occupancy I will consider 85%. Okay, so now first we would need to calculate the headcount requirement to cater this forecasted volume. How many FT we would require net, excluding shrinkage, with excluding shrinkage. Okay, so first we will start. First we will calculate the workload basis on this. So here I am adding the formula, and now we will multiply this volume with HT. Okay, so after that I'll divide this number with 36 because the workload will show in seconds. So first I need to convert into hours. So now we can see here showing the 85 sorry, 83 hours. So now I'll consider here 1000. So here are showing 8,3300. So after that I need to convert into FT. Okay, once we will convert into FT, so let's suppose if I'll consider the agent working rule. So one agent will work for a week, it's around 40 hours, productive hours, excluding rest break. So if I'll put here for 40, and then I'll add the occupancy part. Okay, so now we can see here. So here are showing 25 head counts, 25 net and net required basis on the workload calculate. Okay, so after that I'll add here the 33% shrinkage. So also you are aware about the industry standard formula. Once we will calculate the headcount requirement, so most of the time people consider there are total net required multiply 100 plus there are the shrinkage parts. So this formula we can, for some instances, we can consider is a correct manners, but however this is not the correct formula. So on that scenario we would need to divide, because we also aware there is 25% are net requirement, but however we need to calculate the headcount requirement. So on that scenario we will need to the divide, then 1 minus this one. Okay, so now you can see here they are showing the 37. So I need to validate this number. If I'll multiply the check a post shrinkage, if I'll exclude the 33% shrinkage, so here are showing 12. If I'll minus 37 minus 12, so here are showing 25. So my formula is correct. If I'll calculate through the same scenario which I will discuss with you, 100% plus 33%. So here are showing 33. If I'll exclude the 33% wall shrinkage here, so here are showing 11. If I'll check this formula it is correct or not. So basis on this, if I'll consider the this formula 100 plus 33, so here are showing only 22 head counts net, but this is not the correct. So if I'll go through on the first one, which I also consider the right pattern, so here are showing only 25. So would request you to please apply the correct formula, otherwise your capacity will not be effective. Okay, either you will assume the excess head count, either you will assume the lesser head count. Okay, so we will move on this. Okay, from our, let's suppose, upcoming 10, and here we need to compare what we have forecasted and what we have received. So based on this, if I'll consider 95 here, so now you can see here showing the forecasted versus offered 96%. Here I will consider 12,000. So now you can see here the 30%. So if I'll talk about for the HT part, here are have added the actual HT 310. So here are showing 3% excess. Okay, and let's suppose here are based on this, here are showing it 80 32%, and for here is are showing the 90%. So based on this, now you can easily compare with the both part. Okay, if I'll add the random number, rand between, added here rand between, and start from 9,000 till 1150 100. So here are showing these number. Okay, so I also added here. Okay, and apart from that, the similar logic I also built here in HT puzzle. So now you can easily understand what is going on. Okay, so now if I'll add the random rand between number here, so if I'll consider 280, then 320 in between. So now you can see here, here are showing, sorry, I need to then paste it. And then now you can see here, here are showing the lesser headcount. So as of now we have 66% less actual HT as compared with the forecast. Okay, so here are showing the negative value. On that scenario, we are our actual HT is lesser than which we have forecasted. If showing the positive value, so actual HT is higher as compared with the forecasted HT. And move on the shrinkage part. Okay, if I'll move my shrinkage assumption 33%, and after that it may be, if I'll consider these 32% shrinkage. So based on the last 4 weeks trend, okay, we need to design our target, and also we need to think about our assumption. If let's suppose our shrinkage is goes down 40%, and however you have considered 33%, so on that scenario, so you will mm, uh, planning planning for upcoming week. So on so in this type of scenarios you will not achieve your target, just because of that you have considered 33% assumption shrinkage, and however you are getting the actual shrinkage is 40%. So there are 7% FT will impact on your service level. Just because of that you would require around 10 people, if I'll assume that, and you have considered 33% shrinkage. So on that scenario, you will get there are 6.7 FT, but however, you will get the actual shrinkage is 40%. So there are zero point 0.7 FT will be lesser, and these lesser FT will impact on your service level on interval level. So after upcoming video, we will discuss the same point. Okay, so let's move on the occupancy part. And also, if you will if I'll move on this till 6. Okay, so these impact you will show in the occupancy part. So let's suppose we have considered the 85% occupancy, and however we are getting 90% and 92%. Just because of that we are not consider the right assumption. Okay, if let's suppose we have get the actual occupancy around 9 more than 90%. So on that time we need to decide there are something, at least we need to add more people. Okay, so just because of that we are burning our agents. Okay, they are receiving back to back calls. Okay, just because of that, it's many reason can happen. First one, it would be the shrinkage assumption part, and another it would be the other activity plan, in-house shrinkage, in-office shrinkage may be impact. Okay, if I'll move this number, so then now you can see here are showing only 25. If I'll change this number, let's suppose add the rand between number formula, and added 9,000 till 12,000. Okay, need to change this one. Then okay, so I need to change this. Okay, added here because there are some typing error, formula got changed, so I'll reverse back and added here 12,000, and then now you can see the difference. So each and every column head count requirement is showing different. Okay, so after that we would need to add, there are one column here, one row here, head count over and under. Okay, okay, so move on the next part for this video. Right. I need to add this column here. Okay, so we will move on the next part. So let's suppose we will start from this. So now we have started this with 39 opening head count, and as of now we have closing head count. So after that we will add, there are few things in closing head count. As of now we have considered the same. Okay, and after that we will add from last week closing would be our upcoming week opening, to basis on the consider, if let's suppose this number is showing our opening, so on that time we need to consider the nesting and OGT part for last week. Okay, and apart from that we don't need to add anything. Okay, so if I'll move this one, okay, if I'll move this one from here, okay, I need to drag this. So now you can see here are showing. If I'll prepare this one, so on that time we need to minus our last week final attrition number also. Okay, and also we would need to remove on leave head count. Okay, it's depend on your business for, just because of that, if you are working on the domestic part, so you don't need to remove the on leave head count. If you are working in international BPOs, so where you need to remove the on on leave head count, we can call is LOA. Okay, so now you can see here you are showing, if I'll consider the 1%, one head count, and one head count. So now you can see if I'll move this one, so now you can see here are showing these things. Okay, so production head count we will consider, production head count we will consider this one, the closing head count for that week. Okay, closing head count, and nesting head count we will consider from here one, from this here. And for training head count we will consider, there are these 4 weeks, and on leave we will add the manually, and basis on this we would need to calculate our total head count. Okay, total head count, and basis on this, if I'll drag this formula here to here, and after that we would need to add, there are 2% shrinkage assumption. Okay, if I'll add here 2%, and it's depend on the situation. So actual attrition. Okay, so now we would need to build, there are one formula, and the attrition assumption we would need to calculate on the productive head count. Productive head count, we don't need to calculate on the overall head count, just because of that in the in overall head count, in total head count there are showing, including nesting, training, and on leave head count. Okay, so basis on this, here are the production head count, here are showing the this one, there are 0.737. Okay, and we need to add, there are one formula here also. Okay, so here are showing this one, so if I'll copy this one, and then if I'll uh, add a one, if these value is greater than 0, say, then this one, otherwise this one. So now here are showing 0.78%. It's around 1. Okay, if I need to change this also, this one also. So if I'll put here 1, so here would be updated. If I'll put here 3, so it would be showing 3. If I'll added here 0, so then this will show the assumptive attrition. Okay, and for this one we would need to calculate the actual attrition, so this one plus then average opening and closing. Then here are showing 0%. Just because of that we have not added here. If I'll add 2, then you can see here are showing 5%. Okay, and I need to move this formula. Now hope you are understand these things. Okay, if I'll remove this one, and then it will be showing here. If I need to discuss one more time on final headcount, final attrition part, so we will calculate the assumptive attrition basis on this, the 39 total production head count multiplied by my attrition assumption. Okay, if we will add the actual attrition head count, so on that time we need to use the if condition. If let's suppose attrition head count is showing 0, then it would be more than 0, so then it would be the my actual attrition count. However, we have considered here the assumptive head count. Okay, and apart from that we would need to calculate the attrition percentage, so we would need to add first denominator numerator values attrition, actual attrition head count, divide by average head count with production head count, with consider average between opening head count, closing head count for production. Row number 23, 24. Okay, so I hope so you will get the correct information from here. If I'll move on the training part. Okay, so now here are showing there are training part. Okay, so now we need to add this one here. We need to calculate our over under. This is the most important things once you are preparing the capacity part. Okay, so now you can see here there are showing, give me a moment, these value is equal. Okay, so this I need to change this formula. So now we will need to calculate the final attrition. Okay, if this value is okay 1, so here okay, I no I need to reverse my formula. So now we, you also seen this is the my shrinkage assumption. And if let's suppose my attrition, if I'll calculate my previous week data. Okay, so I need to change these numbers with manually. Okay, so for previous week we don't have any attrition, so on that time you need to change this formula. And for, if let's suppose we are working on the 8 July part. Okay, for last week we have assumed we have not received one attrition. If let's suppose we have get, then on that time you need to add 1 here. Okay, if you will not get, then you need to change this final attrition formula here. So for the last week we don't have received any attrition, so basis on this we will add the active headcount. Okay, okay, so I'll remove it and move on the training part. So basis on this, now you can see that the negative value is showing your lesser headcount. Okay, so basis on this we would need to plan. So here we have considered 4 week training, 1 week nesting or GT, and then after the 6 week associate will move on production. So now basis on this we would require, we here are showing there are the 4 minus 3. So if I'll consider there are the 4 weeks, for 5 weeks, so here we don't need to do, if you can consider as your require as per your requirement. So now we can see here are showing that -2, -6, -8, -3, -3. So if I'll compare this one, so if I'll calculate this average, okay, so we need to cover, and also we need to relook our forecast. So because inflation is showing the high, my lowest number is showing -2, my highest number is showing -8, so there are showing -5 difference. Okay, if I'll consider the 8 head count, okay, at head count, final production at head count 8, so we would need to, so for 1 week here are showing, so based on this we will consider the 6. Okay, so first we need to check, because here we have considered the 80% training throughput. Okay, training throughput. Okay, and also training attrition, sorry, attrition we have considered 2%, and also we have calculated the training throughput 80%. Okay, so basis on this, first we would need to calculate this one. So here we would add, there are the six head count. Okay, we would require 6 head count, so I have added 6 divide by 80%. So they are showing 7.5, and so now we have calculate here the 8 head count. Okay, so this is the first week, this would be the first week. Okay, and after that we would need to move on the second week, and then we would need to move, and also we would need to add here, there are the one thing which I need to mention with you. Yeah, that's shrinkage assumption. Okay, so here are showing 1, and this would need to 1 minus 2, it would be 98%. So here are showing 7.87, and if I'll add in move here, and then move here, then move here, and then it would be okay. So now you can see here are showing the same things. Okay, I'll move the same thing with here. Yeah, that's perfectly fine, and also we'll add the same formula here, and after that I'll distribute this one, and then now you can see this one. And basis on this we need to remove the fun formula from here, and then now you can see if I'll add the 860%, and so basis on this requirement, I hope so this file will help you too. Okay, so now you can see here these formula is showing your training classes, your new training classes, and now you can see here the production headcount will increase from this one, and now you're showing -1 -5. Now you can assume here are showing 4, so there are 6, 8, maybe the 7, and if let's suppose you will get the correct information, so on that time you need to add the hard coded number here. So if I'll get that all the 6 head count is remaining in my training class, so then you need to add the 6. If let's suppose you are getting the only information from sand, one for attrition, so on that time you need to exclude this one. Okay, so I hope so this will help you out. And for if let's say we have also plan here for 7. Okay, and now we need to to calculate our new classes. Okay, so we need to go on the first one. So we would need to add, there are one class from here, from 5th July. So here are showing 5. So here we have also considered there are the 4 head count with divide this the 4 head count with this 4 divided by this one training throughput. So here are showing 5. So now we have also consider 5 here, and then the 5 showing in correct manner. So now you can see here are showing plus 1. Okay, so this over under will help you out to measure your classes requirement. Okay, and for now, let's suppose we are there are one important things once you will prepare the capacity plan, so move in and move out. So let's suppose there are some, you would require, there are some associates, and you would request from your leaders. So on that time you need to move, there are few peoples. Let's suppose if I'll move, there are two move in, so we would need to add here. Once you will close, once you will open for these requirements, so on that time you would need to add these two one also. There are two people move in and move out from your. Okay, where I'm not in here. Give me a moment. I need to check that one. Okay, I think so. Moving. Okay, so I need to yeah. So here we have also uh, added in opening headcount for that week. If let's suppose this week, for upcoming week we have exclude move out from the process 2. So on that time we would need to add minus these two. So here also showing the 40 38. 4 minus 2, they are showing 38. Just because of that, I need to change the formula. Once you will add the formula, so on that time you need to very careful about your formula, because most of the time we don't added the proper bracket in proper manner, so it will impact. Okay, so here I hope so this capacity planning will work for you. And after that we would need to add, there are the supportive stuff, how many support staff we have. So then we need to add the fourth fifth as per your availability. Okay, this is not the calculated fit, we have also added here only for just for information. So we have also the right support which we have required or not. Okay, and I hope so this video will help you out to understand how we can create a effective capacity plan for BPO or for inbound LOBs. Okay, so this is the basic one which I have prepared, and for upcoming week we will create some advanced level where we can also calculate, we can also consider the all media, like for inbound, like for chat, for outbound, for social media part also. And apart from that we will also add basis on the billing model. So let's suppose we have client, we have received, there are 100 FT from client side, and basis on the 100 FT, what would be our capacity? Okay, basis on the capacity, what number we have forecasted. Okay, basis on the client KPIs metrics, what would be the best way, if let's suppose we are commitment in the correct manner or not, based on our billable FT. Okay, and I hope so you have like this video will helpful for you to calculate for create the effective capacity plan. And please do like, share and subscribe. Thanks everyone. Bye bye.